Howdy folks, welcome back to World of Tanks with the mighty Jingles. This video is an object lesson, I hope, in the value of keeping your cool and never giving up despite the odds against you. Now, I realise that I come across as the most calm and reasonable person in the planet when you're watching my YouTube videos. Those of you who have seen me play on Quickie Baby or Circumflex's live streams, on the other hand, will be all too aware that I get angry when I'm playing World of Tanks. It's probably safe to say I have a couple of anger issues with this game at times. This is going to be one of those games where it just didn't seem to matter what you did. Everything you touched turned to shit. Now, I'm driving the Cromwell in a platoon with Ike and Quickie Baby. They're in their Type 58s. We're all in Tier 6 medium tanks. It's a Tier 6 encounter battle on Muir of Anchor. Driving tanks like these in this kind of matchup, you should be capable of having a very, very positive effect on the outcome of the game. Every now and then, it's as if World of Tanks has just decided that you're going to suck. And every single shot you fire either misses or bounces. Now, it's safe to say that I didn't have much of a shot at any of these Hellcats. And so far every shot I've fired has missed or bounced, and yet Ike and Quickie Baby are shooting at exactly the same targets as me, and they're hitting them. The frustration is mounting. The rage is rising. 2 minutes into the game and I've still done 0 damage. And I'm really starting to get pissed off. So I figured, sitting on this corner, the Hellcats have all the advantage. We're shooting up at them and all we can actually hit is their gun mantlets. I mean, I and Quickie Baby aren't have any problems penetrating and damaging them, but for some reason I am. I was going to go over the top, and that's when we spot the flat Panzer. Again, Ike and Quickie Baby just in the right position to take advantage of my spot, even though I'm not doing any damage. And again, they're just not missing this Hellcat the same way I am. And I'm starting to get really, really pissed off. I'm sure you can understand. The game's not going particularly well, and I'm losing. There you go. 3 minutes into the game, and so far I have done a grand total of 142 damage in a top tier tank. Now on the plus side, at least I haven't taken any damage. Now I figure the threat to the flank is dealt with. I can now go around and mop up the last remaining Hellcat. But of course, it's one of those games, by the time I get there, somebody else kills him. I have a shot at this Easy 8, I stop to aim, somebody else kills him. Again, we're now 4 minutes into the game, and I've still only done 142 damage, and we're losing. You can probably imagine how pissed off I was at this point. But we're not losing too badly. So, there's still plenty to play for. There's still plenty of targets left. Ike and Quickie Baby heading south to try and get some spots on the multitude of enemy tanks which are going to be approaching from the southeast. I'm doing the same in cover in these bushes up here. Our 3001D goes out. Target spotted. And as luck would have it, I finally get flanking shots at a target, and it's an 88 that I cannot penetrate from this range. Quickie Baby's just died. Jagdpanzer 4 has me spotted, puts one into my flank. I need to get back before he reloads. So, 255 damage done. 5 minutes into the game. We're losing 8-10. We only have 5 tanks left. Both of my platoon mates are dead. A lot of the time, I would just give up in disgust at this point. Quit out, back to the garage, pick another tank, and try again. But the thing is, if you let your temper get the better of you in this sort of situation, now there's only 4 of us left, you're never going to get those memorable clutch games where you pull victory from certain defeat. And this is a lesson I really, really need to take to heart more often. Now I'm going to suck big time here. There's a big old gap there to the left of the Jagdpanzer IV, which I completely missed. This guy should have killed me. Try to get around him, finally make it, and with a little bit of help, I claim the kill. Suddenly we're ahead. And there's the Churchill gun carrier. Now Quickie Baby's yelling in my ear at this stage. Right. Just drive. Right, this is all about the driving, not the shooting. If I get stuck the same way I did against that Jagdpanzer IV, I'm gonna die. And if you can't circle a Churchill gun carrier in a Cromwell, you deserve to lose. Got to take this guy's tracks off. Finally. And now I can kill him at my leisure. Our Churchill gun carrier nails their T-34-85, and suddenly we're not losing anymore. All they have left is a Cromwell, and we know where he is. I was firing and missing at him. There we go, pinging the map. Firing and missing him earlier. So many times I've been in this sort of situation and my rage has gotten the better of me, and I've just pressed escape, gone straight back to the garage, and tried again with another tank. And sure, 9 times out of 10 in this sort of situation, you are going to lose.
Enemy armor is destroyed.
But if you keep giving up, 10 times out of 10 in that sort of situation, you are going to lose. And this is a lesson I really need to take to heart more often, because you're never going to get clutch wins like this if you just give up when things are going badly. So, lesson there to be taken to heart. Hopefully, I will learn from it, and you guys who also are raging at World of Tanks, and the way the RNG just seems to grab you by the balls and kick you in the arse in those games. I mean, the first 5 minutes of this game, I was completely ineffective. I basically sucked and did nothing to help my team win. Show you another one. M48 pattern. A very, very good tier 10 medium tank. But, as I'm sure you're all aware, I tend not to do very well in my tier 10 machines. And I really don't like playing them. It's not a problem with the tank. That's a really, really good tank. I just suck massive amounts at driving it, as I do with most of my tier 10s. And this game, well, it's not going to be much different. Again, I'm platooned up with Ike and Quickie Baby. Quickie Baby in his Jagdpanzer E100, Ike in his T110E5. We're here on, you know, I can't remember the name of the map. Jingles, stop sucking. It's listed as Canada in the game files. This is obviously the new version of the map. It was taken out a couple of patches back, basically because it sucked massive amounts. And I do like this map now in its new form. All of that area on the east where the bay is was pretty much just wasted space on the map. It was just open water. They've added that peninsula of land that goes around the bay and connects to the bridge on the other side. And they've flattened out a lot of this area where you see me now. And it actually makes it not a bad area for medium tank battles. You're not nearly as exposed to tank destroyer and sniper fire when you come over here, he said, and then got hit by another pattern. So 2 minutes into the game, and as always, I've done nothing. And this is very, very good matchmaking for a tier 10 tank. It doesn't get much better than this. There's only 5 of us. 6 of us if you count the artillery. Everybody else is either tier 9 or even tier 8s. As well as a tier 7 scout. I should be dominating. But a combination of poor driving, poor shooting and poor positioning basically means that I am sitting here doing jack shit while the rest of my team are racking up the kills and doing all the damage. And yep, it's starting to get frustrating. I'm pretty much stuck in this position with all of those guys on the ridge opposite, just ready to put shots into me the second I break cover. But the rest of the team's moving up, and I'm the only tier 10 here, and I can't let an IS-6 and a WZ-132 go up and take the hits for me. I need to get my gun involved in this game. .5 minutes of the game left and I have done nothing. Need to stop sucking and actually do something. So I figure I'll try to go around. But I don't like the look of that Jagdpanzer E100 and IS-8 over there. They don't really appear to have shots on me, but if I get any higher up, they probably will. And oh crap, Jagdpanzer E100. And yes, he's seen me. And of course, I miss. Lovely shot at his lower glaciers, and I just donked it. Didn't wait for it to aim. Still done no damage. 4 minutes into the game. Quickie Baby nails one of their E75s. Well, they're only E75. And I should be getting stuck in with our STI and our IS-6. Finally, I've done some damage. Return fire into that Patton who landed one into me earlier. And now that the threat to the north has been dealt with, I figure it's safe to come down here and start doing some damage to that IS-7. Take the pressure off the IS-7 on our team that's facing him. Nine minutes, 45 seconds of the game remaining. I've only done 859 damage. In a tier 10 tank, it's inexcusable. They've still got a lot of their tier 10s left. In fact, you know what, looking at the matchmaking here, they only had one tier 8, and he was a light tank. We've got an IS-6, WZ-132, a T-32. And yet we're winning, I mean, you know, we're winning quite handily, and it's no thanks to me. I've basically done jack shit in this game. Frustration's building, getting angrier and angrier. That's when we spot the T-54 and Object 140 making a run on our base. Doesn't look too bad, however. We have an E-50, Quickie Baby and an E-100 in position to intercept them. So I keep going north, heading for the enemy base. Their T-92 nails our STI. This IS-7 looks like it could use some support. Now you'll note that I'm as far away from our flag as we could possibly get and still be on the same map. And their T-54 is now facing off against our E-50, and Quickie Baby We're asking E50, have you got that covered? And we're being capped. Now, you might be asking yourself, what the hell are you going back for? Look where you are. There is absolutely nobody. There is absolutely nobody left to reset the cap at our base. Quickie Baby's died. Ike's dead. The E50 that was there has died. The E100 that was there has died. Look at the tanks that we have left. An IS-7, an Object 261, me, Leopard prototype. Well, the Leopard prototype is pinned by their remaining enemy tanks. He can't really get back, especially since he's just died. We could lose this if somebody doesn't go back to reset the cap. .140 fires and bounces. Put a shot into him. He gets one into me. I'm just about to fire. Now that was lucky. That was our Object 261, scored a direct hit on that 140. Could very easily have taken me out, or damaged me, but it was a good shot. Now, of course, I'm as far away from the fight as I could possibly be while still being on the same map, and I've got to drive all the way back. I'm kind of hoping our IS-6 and IS-7 will wait for me to get there. But of course they don't. And I really suck at driving this tank. I've had a couple of good games in it, but most of them have been awful. They've just nailed our IS-6. Our IS-7 isn't looking very clever. Sitting there on 12% health, but their STI is looking really, really vulnerable. We've lost our IS-7. It's 2-on-1. Now, the M103 is good. He's on 5 kills, but he's in an M103. I'm in an M48. Our artillery's moving up. And 2-on-1 is always better than 1-on-1. And I could probably just bum rush this M103. I still have 1300 health. He's going to require, unless he gets lucky and ammo racks me, he's going to require 4 shots to kill me. And I'm probably only going to need 2 to kill him. But there's safety in numbers. Gives the enemy something else to shoot at. This is another one of those games where for the first half of the match I basically did nothing. Out of position, poor positioning, poor shooting, and I just sucked. As happens all so often when I'm driving this tank, and most of my tier 10s. And the team were kicking arse without me. I may as well have not been there for all the difference I made in the first 7 or 8 minutes of this game. And then suddenly you find yourself in a position like this, where you've done 2,280 damage isn't a lot, but it's not bad. And the success or failure of the match is resting on your shoulders. Take the hit. He's fired. 261. Go for it. I get my tracks back up. Put myself between the 261 and the M103. Try to keep him alive. Reload. Game over. So, 2 games. In one, I couldn't do any damage to the enemy team, and we were getting our arse kicked, and it just looked like there was no point in me even playing. And yet, if you keep giving up on what looks like certain defeats, there are always going to be certain defeats. 9 times out of 10, yeah, you're going to lose anyway. But if you keep giving up, you're going to lose 10 times out of 10. And you're never going to get those really memorable clutch games where you turn certain defeat into an amazing victory. Second game, where it looked like I was just wasting my time even taking part. The team were kicking ass without me, and for the first half of the game, I had, again, done absolutely nothing. And then, of course, you end up being the tank upon whose shoulders the entire game rests, which if you give up, you'll never be in that position, where what looks like an easy win suddenly threatens to turn into a defeat because of a couple of players on the enemy team who refuse to give up and end up having the clutch game of their lives, and it's down to you to stop them. So the lesson here that I probably more than anybody really need to take to heart is that it doesn't matter how badly you're doing, you can always make a difference. But you can only make that difference if you keep fighting. Quitters don't win games. As always, folks, take care on that battlefield, and I'll catch you next time.